We got another cold or windy and chilly morning out here, folks, but we still gonna get to it. But your comments say it all, folks. And something big is happening. Something huge. Are you ready? Are you prepared? None of you are getting it. Two of our major financial hubs are being dismantled, and their port cities for goods, New York, California, trillions have been leached out. You better go get supplies now. The government is one snake with two heads. Neither party cares or can fix anything. They create a problem so that they can say only the government can fix the problem. Stock up on gold and silver for barter and trade. Food and water and medicine. Something bad is coming. Would you rather have it and not need it? Question mark. Here's a stock tip. Buy Vaseline or KY Lube shares, because a lot of people are going to get screwed big time. They know what's coming. Why do you think they're building bunkers underground? You can't run from Jesus. Watch. I have read the Bible. This is clown world. Buckle up, non-believers. We are getting ready to witness the biggest economic collapse in human history. It's so obvious. I hope people know their maker. It's game over. 10K would pay off all my debt. I'd be broke, but I'd be debt-free. The real estate market is being kept secret, not just because of political issues. This is the way they can force Americans out of their home. You will own nothing and be happy. Question mark. They have to put those illegal immigrants somewhere. All is going according to the plan. It's all related. Oh my God, we're pulling a China. And these are just a few of the comments that I have read lately on videos that I've uploaded that you guys, sorry, more fuzz on the microphone, have responded to. Your thoughts, your opinions, your feelings, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, how you're getting ready and getting prepared. And it's all over social media. It's all over YouTube. And quite possibly one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest challenges is the fact that people are unaware. They're not necessarily connecting and hearing these messages, but even more so if they are, they know that they are trapped between a rock and a hard place, stuck in a box, painted into a corner because they do not have the financial means, the greenbacks, the moolah, the money, to barter and trade as they would prefer to get ready and prepared. Michael Bordenero himself shares some of these challenges that millions of Americans are facing right now.
One thing we know for an absolute fact right now is so many people are going broke, guys. And when I saw this statistic about how much money people are paying in interest right now alone, like forget about all the other expenses we have in life. Forget about the high groceries, forget about the high rent, the high mortgage, all that stuff, okay? Just interest payments alone that people are paying right now. Americans spent $1.1 trillion on interest payments in the last quarter, guys. So here's the problem, guys. Half of that spending is not on mortgages. So half of it is mortgage interest, and the other half is payments on personal interest payments, is what the BEA calls it. And that includes all non-mortgage debt. And it's not that all of a sudden people are spending less on interest on their mortgage, it's that they have higher amounts of debt on other types of loans. Think credit card loans, personal loans, student loans, etc. Now, a lot of this is due to credit cards because credit card payments have jumped from about 15% on average in interest payments all the way up to about 21.5%, according to data from the New York Fed. And there's been a big spike in the amount of credit card and auto loan debt going into delinquency because of this. And then don't forget about the student loans, guys.
Interest payments alone, folks. Interest payments are going to be the death of Americans. And interestingly enough, somebody asked, should we get prepared? Should we get stocked up and prepared by charging expenses on a credit card? Well, it's a good question. And this also will depend on whether or not you have a credit card with an available balance that could even support the types of items and preps that you would need. However, whether or not people should use credit cards to stock up and prepare for uncertain times depends on various factors, including their financial situation, the urgency of their needs, and their ability to manage credit responsibly. Here are some considerations, okay? Hear me out. And this is if you intend on paying that credit card bill when it comes in. Number one being your financial situation, whereas if someone has enough savings to cover their expenses, it might not be necessary to rely on credit cards. However, if they're facing financial strain or uncertainty, using a credit card might provide a temporary solution. And in fact, I want to share with you some important items, 10 important items from Frugal Fit Mom for those who are interested in learning more about this. But beware, be careful, do not, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is me not telling you what to do. However, I would not put myself into debt over this, unless you truly believe this is the end.
You want to start your long-term food storage, but you're not sure where the best store is to go and purchase said items because we don't want to blow the budget. You know, it didn't always used to be so popular to do this. You know, my grandparents stocked up on all kinds of things when they were on sale from an effort to save money, and then also people that lived through the Great Depression were always nervous about not being able to get the things that they wanted. So they always had a backup stock. So because my grandparents were of that generation, my parents kind of did the same thing. We always had extra. And so I was raised with that idea not being weird. It wasn't until I was an adult, and not until I was an adult on social media, that I realized that not everybody did that. But if you haven't been doing it and you want to start and you want to get some like really bulk items, I am here to tell you the best 10 prepper items that you can buy at Costco. Now, before we go inside, we need to get ready. Stealth mode activated. Let's go inside. The aisle I'm on is one of the key items.
Number two, interest rates, folks. Credit cards often come with really, really high interest rates, especially now, and they're only going to continue to go higher. The Fed has already announced that they're not going to be lowering the federal funds rate, so interest payments are going to be going up higher, okay? And charging expenses on a credit card can lead to accumulating more debt, especially if the balance isn't paid off quickly. If someone can't afford to pay off the balance in full, they might end up paying more in interest over time. So if you can't afford the preps, can you afford the interest? You see what I'm saying? An emergency fund. This is huge, folks. Ideally, people should have an emergency fund to cover unexpected expenses. We all know that, right? However, if they don't have savings set aside, using a credit card might be your only option. However, it should be most important to aim to replenish your emergency fund as soon as possible. So this means paying off that credit card and socking away money in savings for a rainy day. Your credit score is going to be extremely important. Using a credit card responsibly can help to build or even possibly maintain a credit score, a good credit score at that. On the other hand, maxing out a credit card or missing payments can ultimately harm a credit score and make it more difficult to access credit in the future. The alternative options can include other ways to get ready and get prepared and stock up besides using a credit card or resorting to credit cards. And people should explore other options. Honestly, I think really explore other options such as seeking assistance from possibly family or friends, negotiating payment plans with creditors, or accessing community resources while they're available. Because I know obviously in NYC there are some extreme challenges that folks are facing, whether it's the migrants, whether it's the crime, or whether it's the governor herself restricting long guns from NYC, use by the National Guard. Are you kidding me? However, in summary, while using a credit card to stock up, and prepare for emergencies might be necessary in some situations, it's important to weigh the pros and cons carefully and consider alternative options. If someone does decide to use a credit card, I feel like they should try their best to do so responsibly and have a plan in place to pay off the balance as soon as possible to avoid accumulating debt. But what items should you even get? What should you buy now, specifically before it's too late? I'm seeing examples and instances of 5 items that you need to buy now with cash before it's too late, before they're banned, before they're gone, prepping for SHTF 2024. So this clearly does not involve using or swiping a credit card for obvious reasons. And these reasons include the ability of trackability, traceability. We've talked about this before with central bank digital currency and CBDC, but at the end of the day, cash is king, folks. And if you want to remain anonymous, then cash is the way to go.
Today's video is all about prepping. 5 things that you should purchase. And you should purchase these with cash, so therefore, you're not throwing any flags up. You're not bringing attention to yourself, because I think all these things are good to have. Number 1 is a catch or cachet. Some people call them different. I don't want to say just cash, because you may have a different understanding of what that is. I'm going to show you the picture of the ones that I just purchased. Now, number 2 is books, not virtual books, but true old school books. I challenge you to look at old libraries, old bookstores, even some thrift stores. There's an online site where you can look for thrift books. Number 3, I talk about all the time, but it's precious metals. I buy precious metals just about every time I get an opportunity. Now, gold is expensive, but guess what? It's going to keep on going up. So if you could go in with someone, I'll be honest with you, I had 2 other people come to me and we bought. Number 4, this is probably one of the biggest. I want you to listen to me. I want you to go on social media. I want you to go to your local market down the street, a local flea market, your local farm, and I want you to talk to a farmer and you build a relationship, and you either buy a side of beef, a side of pig, or the whole steer or the whole pig, or you buy some chickens, you go to the Amish village and you build that relationship to buy meat. Now, I know that sounds crazy to you. And number 5, the perfect time to buy seeds is right now. And you need to purchase these right now. Because guess what?
Which then poses the question, what's going to be more important to you? An emergency cash reserve or emergency food storage? Or both? And if it's either one, how do you begin? How do you get started? Especially if you're living on a fixed income and perhaps maybe relying on Social Security. Now, I'm not going to get into any Social Security retirement investment advice. I don't want to do that. There's other YouTubers doing that right now, successfully and unsuccessfully. That's not my lane, okay? However, I did come across this clip here recently of, I believe it was Donald Trump, and he was on the phone with NBC or CNBC on the Squawk Box, and he mentioned Social Security and he mentions Medicare.
You changed your outlook on how to handle entitlements, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, Mr. President. It seems like something has to be done, or else we're going to be stuck at 120% of debt to GDP forever.
So first of all, there is a lot you can do in terms of entitlements, in terms of cutting. And
this is interesting because this is right after one of the banks that Trump has done business with for decades, who has lent him money using his financial statements that New York Attorney General Letitia James alleged that Trump defrauded. The same bank just underwrote his $91.63 million bond in the E. Jean Carroll judgment case. Talk about the irony, folks. Meanwhile, Donald Trump seen hugging Laken Riley's grieving parents as Biden apologizes to her killer. This is unreal, folks. Caption reads, "I've never seen a clearer contrast." But folks, all I want to do is be a valuable resource. I want to provide you with the latest breaking news and information, updates, tips, tricks, strategies, and be available to you. So by all means, feel free to reach out. My info is in the description down below. If you feel like you need someone to talk to, or if you want to bounce some ideas off of, or you don't even know where to begin to get started, how to make sense of all that's happening and essentially create a method of triage of what you should be focusing on first and foremost to keep you and your family safe, then by all means, feel free to reach out. Drop a comment down below. Let's create a dialogue. Let's connect as a community, as a family, a network of people, like-minded individuals looking to create a much better life, a life of abundance, a life that is sustainable post-November 2024, regardless what happens, because the only guarantee in life is death, and besides that is the fact that things will continuously be more challenging than they have in the past, and it will only get worse. But we can work hard and try to make things better for each other in that process. I appreciate you guys watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I hope you have an amazing day, And I hope to see you guys here again real soon. Take care. Bye.
I can tell you my problems, meditating my silence. But I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go follow. All the fake friends go pop.